that a lot. Trust the process, trust the process. But I wanted to touch on one thing that one of you said about putting in the work and then it will just click. I understand that you guys have probably trained and coached and witnessed a lot of kids coming up through the ranks. Is that pretty much an always thing? Is it a most of the time, half the time? That if these kids keep putting in the work and keep fighting to get to the next level, is it pretty common that it clicks? Everything just comes together, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we see the payoff. We see a genuine basketball player.
I believe there's a high. I believe there's a high success rate.
Okay.
The one thing, if you have that destination, the one thing that you can't do is give up. So if you have that destination in mind and you driving towards that every single day, week, month, year, you have a high success rate of when over time you get closer and closer, then you reach like, oh, I'm this player now, because you look behind you, that goes back to documentation and just results in general. You look back and say, oh, I have all this work put in, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm here, and then there's another set of challenges waiting for you there. So yeah, but I say there's a high success rate, I believe.
Yeah, I think it is true. I think it's very important. Another thing that I'm really just fixated on is carryover, right? I think it is one thing for you to put in work, but what are you working on? How are you working on it? How do you bring what you're working on into game situations, into those things? So it's one thing, like you said, it's the high success rate for people that work hard and put in work, and it does click. But what helps it click is you putting yourself in those game-like situations with the work that you're doing. So it's not just her standing there and shooting. It's like, no, you got to run up and down this court a couple of times, catching and shooting. You got to run over there, run over here. So you got to put all of these situations that you're working on. Let's say you're working on a move where you go between your legs and behind your back and then you shoot. Okay, yeah, that's great, but you're not going to ever just stand there in the game and go in between your legs and behind your back. You go run off of the screen. And you go try to go to the basket, and then you go between your legs, and then she cuts it off. Now you go behind your back. Like, so putting this work in game-like situations, and also at game speed. Like, coach, like, you got a lot of these players, and they're just kind of just going through the motion with what they do. Now, it's going to be a while for you to see that move carry over into the game. So it does carry. The work does translate if you're doing the work, that you will come into the same situation within the game. Because what he said, what coaches, it clicks. What it means is you're not thinking about what you're doing. You're reacting. And you've done it so much over and over and over and over and over that your body just takes over. You're no longer thinking about what it is that you're doing. So if she works on something, or he or she works on this move, then she needs to do this move and do these drills just like she would get to that situation in the game. Then that's when you see it click. That's when you see the carryover. That's when you see, oh wow, I remember she was doing that in the driveway. She just did it. Like, oh wow, that is pretty cool. That's amazing. So that's really what I harp on a lot with players, is you actually putting yourself in game situations, going at game speed. You want that move to be down, then you need to do it just the same way to get to that same spot, just like you